Hi, Tiff.
Hi, Jamal. We got a lot to get to, and I have a lot of stuff to talk about. So can I jump right in?
Let's jump right in. Let's do it.
All right. So I know everybody talked about the Comey hearings all week, which I thought that the transcripts read better than the actual hearing, but it was still exciting to watch. And only in a city like D.C. did bars open up early, and you had lines of people standing outside of bars and lines of people trying to get into a Senate Intelligence Committee hearing. Like, seriously, where else would you see that happen but the land of nerds? But one thing that I
Hollywood for ugly people.
Exactly. Present company excluded, of course.
Of course.
One thing that I wanted to talk about is, so before Comey testified, Kamala Harris, who sits on the Senate Intelligence Committee, participated in the hearing before, where Deputy AG Rod Rosenstein testified about his role in all of this. And she was questioning the Deputy AG when Senator Richard Burr from North Carolina had the temerity to interrupt her and shut down her line of questioning. And I just feel like everybody around D.C. was collectively saying, no, he didn't. So by the time it got for her to ask Comey questions, everybody was watching. I felt like there were black women everywhere looking at Burr like, we dare you. And that was so rude.
I know, and keep in mind, Kamala Harris, who's a former prosecutor from San Francisco, also was a state attorney general in California. So of the people on the dais, she's one of the most qualified people to go after any witness. And as a Democrat, we all want to see her take after these guys.
And her line of questioning wasn't out of order. I mean, she was very forceful in it. But we put it in the Beat, and it's on our website at thebeatdc.com, so people can take a look for themselves. But I thought Richard Burr was completely out of order. I couldn't believe that he had the temerity to do that to his colleague, a sitting senator.
What else is going on out there?
Okay, so we have to talk about Bill Maher and his use of the N-word. I know a lot of people are very upset with Bill Maher, rightfully so, and you and I have talked about this. So last week on Bill Maher's show, he made an inappropriate, ugly joke with Senator Ben Sasse, who very uncomfortably smirked and just tried to move past it. So, you know, I think Bill Maher certainly deserves some of the ire that was thrown his way this past week. However, you know, Bill Maher is an ally of the progressive movement, and I just don't think this is the thing that we need to focus on and dump on him.
So you know, I have complicated feelings about Bill Maher. So at first, you know, I'll just start here. He talks too bad about my Jesus. Okay.
I agree. He's not a fan of the spiritual.
And I'm okay with people not believing in God, and you don't have to believe in the same religion that I do, even if you do believe in some spirituality. But Bill Maher historically goes after people of faith as if that is not a legitimate and rational way of being as a human, and anybody who believes in something spiritual, there's something wrong with them. So that's my point number one on Bill Maher. Point number two is, yes, he used the N-word. Yes, I have a problem with it. Even if you have a lot of black girlfriends, it doesn't give you permission to use the N-word.
Completely agree.
And it just doesn't matter. But point number three, which is I also don't believe there should be this idea that we are one strike and you're out.
I agree.
People make mistakes. You ought to be able to make a mistake, get some education, come back at it. If I lived in a world where one strike I was out, I'd have been out a long time ago. I got so many strikes. You know, it's like it's bad around here.
I completely agree. But I will say, let this be a lesson to our liberal friends who don't look like us. We appreciate allies. We appreciate support. And it takes a collective effort for us to move this needle forward. We all agree. But just remember that you are an ally of this culture. You are a guest, not a member of it. And so you don't get to say those things. And you do have to own your blackness, to be critical of it, to use vernacular that we all use amongst ourselves. It's okay. White people don't get to do everything, and that's fine.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny because, you know, this is not really our topic today, but when you're thinking about this topic and allies and friends, it brings you back to what's the woman's name, who pretends to be black but she's really white? Rachel Dolezal.
The epitome of white supremacy.
Exactly.
She just chose to be black.
And you're choosing to be black as if that's something that one can make a choice to be. I can't make a choice to be white. I've got white people in my lineage somewhere. If I wanted to reach back 4 generations and claim to be white, that wouldn't necessarily go over very well. And I think here's the real fundamental problem. You can't choose to be down with the culture when it benefits you and then get the benefits of your racial background
Completely.
when it benefits you on that side too. You get all the benefits and you get none of the responsibilities of either side of the coin.
So this is a sad transition, something that's very close to your heart, and I'm curious to get your perspective on everything happening. But sadly, this week that we lost Bill Taggart, the interim president of Morehouse College. And I don't know, John, it seems like Morehouse cannot catch a break. All the infighting they had with John Wilson when he was president and the board chair, and I wonder, and the students having to like file suit and injunctions to protect the school. And I know alumni like you and all the other people we know who went to Morehouse. I mean, it has to be like taxing on the spirit as a proud alum.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, my heart and our hearts go out to Bill Taggart's family and his friends who are suffering right now from this very sudden loss. I think he had an aneurysm, which is what happened. And he was a runner, and people thought he was in shape, and so it was a real tragedy for his family and also for the Morehouse community. He will be now we will have, I think, the third or fourth president in the last 4 years, 4 or 5 years. And Morehouse has been struggling to figure this out. It's a tough time to be a black college president.
Yeah.
I mean, and we put a lot on these black college presidents because we expect them to be, like a spiritual leader, a civil rights leader, the biggest fundraiser ever, rainmaker, and they need to be an administrator who's taking care of the entire campus.
Yeah.
It's a lot for one individual. So I do think we need to have some level of level set expectations when it comes time to picking the next leader. So when we get done mourning Bill Taggart, I think Morehouse is going to have to go through some soul searching to find somebody to lead the college who could be a very good leader for us.
That's something that people may not want to hear, but we need to talk about. When you ask people, did you have a nurturing experience at your HBCU? I certainly did at Clark Atlanta University. I know you did at Morehouse. Mm-hmm. You ask a room full of HBCU graduates, and they all talk about how much they love it. And then you ask how many of you all give back, how many alumni are contributing, and those hands go down. And so that's something that we as alumni have to do a better job of. I completely encourage that.
Absolutely.